Welcome back to Your Own University TV, where we're going to talk about what sets you apart from everybody else in the world, because you matter. And today we're continuing our series on leadership and how you can be a leader of your own life. This next little segment is about accountability. And accountability gets a bad rap. We were having a big conversation about it, and there's a lot to accountability. So we're going to break it down, make it super easy for you to be accountable for your health, your wealth, and your happiness, as well as leading others to be accountable for their own. All right, leadership is so huge. How have you liked this series? I'd love to know your feedback on how you like this series. Please give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what it's provoked inside of yourself, where you're leading in your life, and where you're going to step it up and lead a little bit more, and how you can invite these ways of leadership into the rest of your life. I would love to know all about that. So let's continue this series. We're going to talk about the next key to leadership. And leaders have accountability. They're accountable for both the success of their teams and the people that they're leading, including themselves, as well as the failures, right? Those sucky learning things. And one thing that I learned a couple years ago when really talking to people in AT&T and around really performing and creating new things in their industry and being on that leading edge of technology is that they fail often and they fail fast. So one part of being accountable is to try different things, to go out there and actually do it. And sometimes that means accepting failure for yourself and accepting failure for your team. And that takes huge accountability. It also takes huge humility, which I talked about in the last video, because it kind of hurts, right? Who likes to fail? I know for me, it's one of my go-to emotions when it comes to emotional intelligence. One place that I really sink into is I'm a failure. Oh, I just suck at everything. And one reason why I feel that way is because I put myself out there and I try different things and I create for my own platform, and I'm a leader in my own life, which means that I try some things sometimes that fail. Sometimes we can try things as simple as diet or parenting advice, or things that we try in relationship that don't work. We get this opportunity to be a leader in our own life and say, wow, I really succeeded there, or I really failed there, right? I really could do this a better way, a different way. And we try again. When we're responsible for a family or a team, then having that accountability even has more emphasis in our lives. And oftentimes accountability is chalked up to being the coach or the boss takes responsibility when everybody fails, right? When the project fails, when it goes awry, when they don't make as much money, when the launch goes blah, right? Then it's like, oh, it wasn't the team, it was me. However, when there's a success, the whole team's accountable for the success, which I think is baloney, because in all actuality, yes, for the leader, we do have more responsibility, whether we are succeeding and leading a team to success, or we are leading a team and we fail, we bomb, right? Either way, we hold accountability. So my encouragement, step one in accountability, is recognize where you've been accountable to yourself, your health, your wealth, and your happiness, and you are succeeding. Count the successes. It's so important for a positive mindset. It's important for you to get that positive mindset and that reward system for yourself to say, yes, I kicked butt here. I did a really great job here. Then, yes, hold yourself accountable when all things go awry, when you bomb the diet, right? When you have a parenting fail, when you and your spouse or your relationship get into a blowout fight and things have to get sorted out and you screw up, right? We screw up, things mess up. When the team doesn't reach that goal, we mess up. And if you're leading that team, you're taking that risk to possibly fail, to possibly have to go back and redo it again. So tip number 1 is really have those rewards. Look at your accountability and where you succeed as well as where you fail. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 when it comes to accountability is it begins with yourself. It really begins with yourself. And I named 3 areas of our lives where we get to look at in order to be accountable. So the first is you are accountable for your own health and your well-being. This is self-care. So at Your Own University, we talk a lot about proper nutrition, about proper sleep, about knowing what cycle you're in life, how to maximize your own personal wellness and your self-care. This includes mindset and emotional set for you as well as your physical well-being. So where are you holding yourself accountable for your own health and well-being? 2, where are you holding yourself accountable and where do you want to hold yourself accountable for your wealth? This is your investing. And this is how you're investing your time and money. Prosperity is where you spend your time, where you spend your resources. Resources can be knowledge, money, time, care, attention. Resources is lending your things out, sharing what you know, sharing your resources with the world. All of that is prosperity. All of that is wealth. Oftentimes we think of wealth as just money. Right? Oh, wealthy, money. No, the wealthiest people have money and time and resources. So really take account for yourself. Like, how much money do you have? How much time do you have? And how many resources do you have in your hands? And then how do you spend those? How do you spend those? Are you accountable for how you spend those? Do those feel good to you? Or do you feel like you're being drained and you're kind of coming from an empty pot? And how can you fill up that pot? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 here in this little accountability series is healthy, wealthy, wise, right? So wise is also happiness, joy, where you spend your time in relationship, who you surround yourself with, the kind of things that you surround yourself with. So for me, this can be even how I spend my time, like what movies I watch, what I invest myself in, what relationships I invest myself in. So look at what relationships are you investing yourself in? Are you accountable to those relationships? How are you coming into those relationships? Do you take, or do you give? Is there an imbalance there? Can you balance that out for yourself? So you're coming from a full pot, you're giving from a full pot, and you're receiving with gratitude and appreciation. These are so important. And are you accountable for that? So when you're giving, are you accountable for making sure that you give from a place that feels full, that you're not giving out of a resentment or a need or a charity? This summer, I was actually in a situation that I totally felt like I was giving, right? And I was receiving, and I was so grateful for that. But it turned out that I was actually receiving from a person that was feeling very resentful for giving to me. And I had no idea. And in the end, it really hurt. It hurt us both, I think. So, why do that? Make sure that when you're giving to somebody or something, that you're giving with a free, open heart, and hold yourself accountable for doing that. And then when you do give, it is truly a gift, right? And they can receive that from a place of no guilt or shame for receiving. They can receive from a place of fully appreciating and receiving with gratitude, and then they can give back into the world from that pot, right? So for me, I loved to give from what I was receiving. I gave to myself in the form of little gifts that I wouldn't be able to get, like coffee out and stuff like that if I wasn't receiving. I gave little gifts of wonderful things to people that stayed at my home, or my mother, or my friends, that allowed me to do that. So by receiving from my friends, I also got to give from that, right? And I was accountable to give from that open heart, and I was accountable to receive with gratitude. Now, on the other hand, if we switch that around, you can give from an empty plate, and that feels bad. That builds resentment. That builds pain. That builds distance between you and the people that you are giving to, whether it's an organization, work, or friendship. So by doing that, you're actually not being accountable to your own self-care, your own self-wellness, and how you spend your prosperity, right? So by coming into this, looking at your happiness and your joy, make sure that you're giving from a place of accountability, where you're giving from an open heart, that freedom that biblically we talk about. And also that you're receiving with an open heart, fully receiving from somebody. Because when we get to give and somebody gets to receive our gifts, and they're so happy to receive our gifts, those gifts continue to have a ripple effect into the rest of the world, just like I hope this video does for you today. So thank you for listening to this. Let me know what you think about accountability, if you are accountable in these 3 aspects of your life, and where you can hold yourself more accountable for yourself, where it's beginning with you. And then your organization. Are you looking at where you are accountable as a leader to lead them into celebrating the successes, as well as really taking responsibility for reorganizing things that you fail, right? We all fail. Like AT&T said, fail fast and fail often. I absolutely love that, especially for us creators out there. Thank you for being a leader in your world. You matter. Give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel. Share this video with a friend that you think is a leader in your life, and I'll talk to you soon.